I'm Rudy Patootie.
I'm Austin motherfucking Torres.
I am Wario.
I'm Pizza Hut.
I'm Donald.
And we're the Idiot Savants. And you're listening to Crazy Train of Thought on the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
I think it's a Swedish phrase that denotes the sort of like underside of a pancake that doesn't get the maple syrup.
Hey bro, can I get that password?
Ah! Please! Please not again, mister!
And then you will very much have lots of viewers.
He's not obscure! Yeah, tampons.
I've been to Chicago. It's not that bad.
Liv Tyler didn't get old. She's still like, she's an elf.
We're going off the rails on a crazy train of thought.
Check a look.
Welcome, everybody, to Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. On today's episode, I have...
Pokemaster Troy Osborn.
Pokemaster Troy Osborn joins us. Thanks, Troy. How was your basketball game last week?
I didn't play basketball.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I heard that.
Whatever.
And I was like, is that a basketball
that was
game?
fucking funny the whole episode. It's fine.
I was fine with it too. I mean, that's how I play basketball. If I'm going to play, I'm going to stomp on little kids.
Stomp on 4-year-olds. It's, yeah.
It's like Billy Madison dodgeball.
Yeah.
So
Well, then, like, you get the height difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was dunking on a 6-foot hoop.
Okay, next.
I'm Phillip.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thanks for coming, Phillip. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. Never been on a podcast before, so I'm pretty psyched.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Can I do my intro joke then?
Go ahead.
All right. So say it to you. So it's knock knock,
Who's there?
interrupting owl.
Interrupting Al who?
And there you go.
Thank you. That
you get
sets
it?
the theme for this whole episode.
Did you get
the
it?
owl
No, I
at?
don't get it.
Is the owl
Well,
at
you
the
know,
end?
like
it either.
with knock knock, when it's interrupting, I'm supposed to say like moo. When it's like cow, what does an owl say?
Yeah, welcome to your first and
An
last
owl
podcast.
says who. I can't even explain it. An owl says who. So he interrupted
An
himself.
owl doesn't say who, it goes hoot.
Hoot, hoot.
With a T at the end.
That's the joke. It's interrupting owl who.
Hooters.
So you interrupt yourself
You
with the
guys going
joke.
to Hooters after this?
Go to Hooters. You'll
Oh my
squat
god.
up at Hooters.
Okay. Next.
It's your boy Sam here from the
Hooters?
netherworld, I guess.
Sam The Babbi
It's
is
been
here.
a while, yeah.
How you doing, Sam?
Romero.
Oh, I've been better. I've seen better days.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Why's that?
Oh no, I was just joking.
Okay.
Like, I'm fine.
Good.
It's fine. I'm fine.
But
It's
after the
fine.
podcast, you want to talk about
Next.
Colin freaking Giffy, not Giffy this week. Apparently,
Colin Giffy's
I'm
here.
Giffy.
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty
You
good.
fucking skipped out on us last week.
I did. I was driving back from Grand Rapids for work.
So we got 1 out of 2 then when we were
Yep.
guessing where people were.
Did I see you last Tuesday?
That was the first. No, you saw me last Friday.
When did I see you last Tuesday?
You didn't see me last Tuesday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Well,
Yeah, 1
that
out of
was
2.
The first podcast I've missed. Out of being here since August.
August.
I
Yeah.
need to apologize. I've missed every single one.
Better late than never.
That's true.
That is true. The tortoise did win the race.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Proof or it didn't happen.
Nobody saw the tortoise break the
Well,
rabbit's legs near the 10-foot line.
Hey, you didn't. You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that.
Fucking A. All right, Colin, you've been moving out.
Yeah, dude, I just moved
How do
out.
you feel? I played the Moving Out Billy Joel song for you when you
did.
got here as your intro music.
Hey, Alexa.
Wait, you did that on purpose?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
That was like the 18th
at
song
first
in the
I
list.
didn't notice it, and then it started kicking in a little bit, and I noticed. I was like, "Yep, he did that," because I
Yeah.
talked about moving out.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, I moved out.
Cool.
Yeah. Officially
Moved
living
about half an hour away.
half an hour away
Yeah.
from where I originally was living.
And you're no longer living with Sam's parents. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm no longer living with your parents.
Come back. We miss you.
Come back.
Yeah, Ryan's my brother.
I offered you a spot here, okay?
And he betrayed
did.
you.
Yeah.
He did offer me a spot.
In the loft.
Has
it
anybody
were.
ever slept in that room since I
It's all right. He wanted to make sure that instead of living with one guy, he would live with 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
The more men, the better.
It's raining, man.
It's raining, man.
That's good, man. How you almost done moving? And
Yeah, I got some a little bit more stuff to go back to get tomorrow, but
gotcha.
enough
Still
to
left at
actually
your
be all
parents'
done.
house.
Yeah.
That body pillow
I'm getting rid of my
collection's pretty
leopard
huge.
gecko laddie too.
Oh,
What? Wait,
I'm giving
what?
him away. I didn't
To
want
who?
to take him to the roost to a girl from the youth group.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should have asked me.
I should have. Yeah,
You
leopard
should have.
geckos.
I have multiple leopard geckos.
Yeah,
Oh.
You're almost done moving out.
yeah, almost done. Shouldn't be too much. I don't
Why
have
didn't
a
you
whole
just
lot.
move in with one of your brothers? You have 2
Well-
older brothers.
I'm not moving in with his family.
Oh yeah.
Like he's married. Like his kids. Like
hey,
I'm not gonna
hey,
live
Mike.
Hey man.
Excuse me, sir.
You need a babysitter?
Like, I'm living with a bunch of bachelors, Ryan. Like we're like that's. I'm not gonna move in. Well, I could take Phil's spot at his house because he's getting married, so he's moving out. And they asked me like, "Hey, you want to take a spot?" And I'm like, "Well, there's a spot open up at the other house, and I already told them I would take it. And I would feel bad because then I'd have to pay more rent without another person. They didn't really know of anybody else who'd be able to take the spot. So
Phil's getting married.
Phil is getting married.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
August.
didn't know he was seeing anyone.
You didn't know he's been with the same girl for 7 years.
It's a different
Well,
film.
I don't
not
know,
me.
man.
I'm already
They
married.
got together freshman year of high school, and now they're getting married.
What?
Yes.
That's a long one.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it. You know, high school relationships don't
Has it
last,
been,
but
like,
they made it last.
8,
He wasn't even in high
10
school yet.
years?
It was the summer before freshman year. He was like technically in 8th grade.
How many years has that been?
7 years.
7?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of close to me and Amy.
Yeah, they're
But
getting
we
married.
were-
They're getting married on their anniversary of like them being together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, so
adorable.
sweet.
Is it a Wednesday? Did they plan that out well?
It's on a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy timing because then it's like, what if it was a Thursday?
That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
fucking can't get married on
Yeah,
Thursday.
they were actually
Yeah.
going to get married like a full like.
Well, I don't-
no, this does make sense because if they get married a year later, it'd be like if they met on a Wednesday, it'd be a Thursday the next year. So they had to wait 7 years for it to end up on the same day.
Wait, you're not
No, you're
accounting for the leap year.
Yeah, leap year. That's why
That
it's
is
not.
correct. That's
why
this
it's
year.
not a Friday because they got together on a Friday.
So they have to wait like 3 more years.
Oh, no.
No,
Fucking A.
no, I don't
Congrats,
even know.
Phil, if you
Yeah.
listen to this.
He doesn't listen to this.
As soon as you are starting to work on the website, I'll give you a real congratulations.
Roasted.
And
Roasted
also,
and
congrats
toasted.
from the other Phil to you. One small funny thing when me and my wife did our date, it was September 21st.
Okay.
And we didn't realize, like, I don't know why I didn't think of the song Earth, Wind, and Fire
Dude, I know.
until my friend who, like, we've done work for at the library was like, oh, that's the day we got married and that was our song. I'm like, which song? And they're like, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm like, oh my gosh, do you remember? And it's
Oh my God, that's that
21st night of
song?
September.
yeah. Do you remember the 21st night of
21st
September?
which we did play
Yeah.
at the wedding.
Nice.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
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 I was there. I was at that wedding.
Oh, good for you.
I would think
You
the
and, like,
bigger day
3
would
people.
be Bilbo's birthday the next day. That's my thing. That the next day is Hobbit Day.
Oh
I know,
my
that's
God.
what everyone else was
Yeah,
doing
that's
up
what you.
here.
Was that what you were doing?
I was doing Hobbit.
Your
Day.
Hobbit Day? Yeah.
Sam,
I was driving
What?
back from Tennessee.
speaking of Hobbit shit, you played Shadow of War. How's it
Okay,
going?
I'm
Wow.
offended.
what a segue there.
He mentioned Lord of the Rings. Jump at it.
Ryan's segue related to Mike's segue.
I wish you had told me that this was also an idea, because, man, did I play the crap out of that one, too.
Shadow of War.
You're welcome to jump in.
Oh.
Yeah. I just
Did you
started.
like it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a timeline issue, so I'm worried about. I'm more interested in the time and the places and stuff. I kind of geeked over the map for a bit.
I want to say, just play it and don't think about anything, otherwise you're going to hate it. It's not
Don't
as
think
good
about anything.
It's not as good as the,
Oh.
like it's again kind of the thing where like the gameplay is really good and what they did with the orcs is good. I don't like what they did with Talion. He looks like a potato.
Oh yeah,
They
he
did
gets a
something
little
weird
thicker.
with his face.
His
They're like,
eyes are wider
We're gonna
apart.
make you look like Vigo, but then like a potato. Like someone made his head with Play-Doh and just
Come
moved
to
it
Olive Garden for
until you're
Vigo
like,
potatoes.
That kind of looks like a person.
About to stab somebody. You want to die, but potato boy?
Now,
My name's
the
Potato
Nemesis
Boy.
system, like with the orcs,
Yeah.
is way better. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I
the
know, for real. Like,
game-
I like how they come back
Yeah.
after they've been like, I think, actually, call back to the earlier episodes, maybe 2 years ago, when Austin was playing this. and
Yeah.
I think it got deleted
Shadow
probably.
of War,
but
Shadow of
maybe.
Mordor.
Shadow of War. And we were talking about one of the dragons that like scorched an orc or something like that, and then he became like Grog the Dragonborn after he came back or something.
I had one dude to where like I threw him in a fire, and then he comes back and he's just like, little moth, and he chased me for hours.
But he was all covered in bandages and really burnt. So he was
burns, and he's like, I was born in the fire, and now I blah 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 blah.
They do get a little bit. They're a little bit more sentimental now. These orcs.
Yeah, because now I'm like, dude,
really petty.
Die, leave me alone.
Really petty.
Yeah, it's like I chopped off your head. You have to sew it back and come kill me for it. Like easy, man. Like honestly, they get like some of them. There's this new kind of orc. They're like mystics or something like that, and they just go on forever. It's like you'll be fighting some boss or something like that, and then out comes like Peter the Rabbit, the orc, I guess, because you like killed him with a rabbit or some crazy stuff, or you killed him like a rabbit, and he's like, Wraith guy, and he's like, and he goes off on this monologue, and it takes forever. And you're like, the other guy is like sitting there. He's like, are you gonna listen to him? Or are you gonna fight me? Or like, and it just freezes everything. And for like no joke, like 3 minutes, you listen to this guy go through all his troubles, his life sob story, and like he starts crying, and the other orcs start like hugging him.
They
It's like,
do get
don't worry,
pretty
you can't
You're
hurt him
lying.
anymore.
He starts crying.
Some of
Orcs
them-
don't cry.
No, like seriously, there's a
Boys
thing you
do
can
good.
do. I don't know how in depth it was in the first game, but you can shatter their mind. Like that's a thing you can
I
choose to
remember
do.
that. Yeah.
And then they'll come back and they look at you and they're just like,
They turn into dogs, but really far away.
and then they just look like they're crying, and it's like, what happened to you? And then there was one guy who came back and he's just like, just looking at you, and it's so
I remember
creepy.
the guy
It is
killed with the
super
seagulls.
creepy.
Wait,
It
so you're
really
telling me
was.
in Shadow of War you can give orcs crippling depression?
Yes.
Yes, I want to play this
cyberbully
game.
Like there was a video where it's like 10 minutes long as this guy built an orc up by letting him kill him to the top and then just decimated him down to the very bottom and kept shaming and shaming and shaming. And the whole time he's just like, you've destroyed me and humiliated me in front of my friends. And then it gets further and further and he's like, just leave me alone. I don't want to fight you anymore. Why are you doing this to me? And then he destroyed him the last time and he came back and he's just like,
Stop spanking me, Ranger.
basically.
Figo potato, please.
Is one of the people in this game supposed to be Viggo Mortensen from the movies?
No,
he
it's
represents
just like-
he has a resemblance.
Okay.
Yeah, and he didn't in the first game. I liked how he looked more in the first one, and then my guess is just because they want to get the Aragorn factor,
Yeah.
and that was the one thing
I like how you
thought.
put that in quotations, like that's a thing
I
people
know.
say. The Aragorn factor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
watched it after the
he's
X
Oregon
Factor.
character, well
Right,
known
no,
from
I
the series, and
understand.
like you see Viggo, and it's like that's kind of a handsome man. But
Yeah,
I will say
good-looking
there's one thing I didn't like that they did in the sequel that they did in the first one is your weapons and stuff and your armor, you get runes, and that's how you change stuff. Where in this
they
one,
did do that in the last one, I thought.
Yes, they did. I'm saying that's what they did in the first one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In this one, you get different armor and swords and stuff so they can give you all the microtransactions and stuff.
Nice.
The reason I don't like that is because it takes away from like the meaning of stuff. Like his dagger is his son's sword.
He just replaced it with
And he just
Roar
replaces
Rim
it with
Dagger.
some... Yes, exactly. And I'm like,
Wait, with what?
destroys everything.
Yeah, so like it's a sentimental like sword thing. Swords and like daggers and stuff like that are kind of sentimental in the Lord of the Rings. Like Bilbo's sword is passed on to Frodo, who's passed on to Sam, and it's just like
The elves gave Bilbo his sword, right?
he found it in a troll's cave.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Which was made by the elves of Gondolin in the Second Age.
Yes, that was my guess.
They
Yeah.
did
They
the fall
they
in
did
2000.
inscribe it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, there was some
Yeah.
stuff. And like, I don't know, it just like, there's a lot of stuff like that happens. And so like, they replaced his sword, the sword like, or the dagger you said that killed his son, what was it? Or
Well,
whatever.
no, that was actually his son's sword. Like, it gets
his son's
broken,
dagger.
and then that's what he uses, which
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so cool. And even his sword, like, it has a cool design. Like, everything has a meaning, and then you just get different stuff.
You get Iron
And, like,
Dagger.
there is some stuff that does look really cool, but then I'm like, I would have preferred the runes because, like, they just made him look weird. Like, there was some... like kind of indie feel to the first one because you can tell that they were trying really hard to make it great.
Yeah.
I love the first one. Like I will go back and play it and it's crazy how it holds up, looks good, everything. And then the second one really was like, oh, we made $1 billion. We can like finance this one and make so much money.
They hit the big time rush.
Yeah.
And then, oh no.
Well, it's like putting in the stuff to make to monetize it is
which
almost always going to take away from the art form.
And then like they wound up getting rid of it because everybody's like, what the hell are you people doing with this?
I think that was one of Austin's biggest complaints when we talked about it a couple of years ago was the monetization thing. So to see them, like, I mean, I'm glad to check in with it again. It's okay. Like, I'm not trying to call you out.
Sam played a video game? Oh, it's from 2 years ago. We were talking about it.
And then, of course, I have all the information. But no, because my wife got it for me because I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So she sent me, this is back when she was in Tennessee, we were dating, blah, blah, blah. So she sends me the gold edition, which has like all the DLC and stuff, which I didn't play because I beat the game and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, I'm done.
One last thing I want to say about it, though, is the time. Okay, so I geek out over this stuff and I read like the wiki and stuff about Lord of the Rings, but they got the timeline wrong, like super wrong.
Yes.
So the whole story is supposed to take place, I think, and I quote, between when Bilbo has the ring and when Frodo throws it into the fire. Somewhere in between there.
I think that's how that was set up in the first game.
Wait, Shadow of Mordor is that way?
Shadow of Mordor.
Okay. So it doesn't make sense because there's this place called, do you remember Minas Tirith, the big place, the White City? Maybe Ryan doesn't because he fell asleep during the Lord of the Rings and never watched it.
You are correct.
100%.
So bad.
Sleeping. I was sleeping.
There's
I probably had a dream about it.
That's why what he knows is Lord of the Rings now. It's like Harry Potter mixed with Lord of the Rings, mixed with Star Wars.
Yeah, where's the Horcrux?
They throw it in the fire at the end.
Did you throw your Dumbledore in the Goblet of Phoenix? But he says calmly.
Yeah.
There's a city called Minas Ithil, which turns into Minas Morgul. It's the raid on Minas Ithil, which takes place in the Second Age, in the year 2002 or 2001 in the Second Age. But the time of like the Lord of the Rings, that story takes place like 3,000 years into the Third Age, or like 2,000 years into the Third Age. So that's like thousands of years later. But supposedly they're like within like 100-year gap.
I think they did like a retcon and they put the second game back further almost. Or they just, I mean, there says it's not canon.
Right.
They really did do some muddling. And I mean, there's another thing that, I mean, you see it right in the beginning, but Shelob is a person.
She's a babe.
I don't know what that, like, oh man, holy fuck.
Oh yeah, Shelob is the big spider.
Do you know the big spider? No, there's a giant spider that's a spider, and then they turned it into a sexy lady.
Okay.
So it's a sexy spider lady?
Well, no,
Yeah,
just
how
a
many
sexy
legs
lady. Like,
her
not
name
even like
Gwen?
Dark Souls where it's a chick on a spider body.
Quaalude,
It's
yeah.
literally just a chick with a black dress who's like, look at me.
The way I'd headcanon it is like the Ugliat, I think is what it's called, is the mother of Shelob. And so like that's a mysterious thing. Yeah.
What's headcanon?
Headcanon is something like where you can kind of pretend like it's true to the story in your own.
Your own idea, like what you think is real.
You load it into the canon and then you fire it.
So it's every fan's depiction of the Star
fiction.
Wars canon.
Yeah.
They have their own.
Don't even.
So like, yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So where they just pretend like it
No.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Did you play the first one?
The first Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
I played it. I never
Okay.
beat it.
Now, there is one thing that this game does gameplay-wise that I really didn't like, and it kind of has an Infamous 2 vibe, where they're like, hey, when you go into battle, choose your skills. And then in the first game, you just have like everything together, and it's like, oh, unlock this, and you just get to use it. Where in the next game, it's like, oh, you want to ground smash, and then also do this? Well, that's two separate skills, and you have to select which one you use.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Damn. So it's a
you're
skill
making
tree
me
almost?
weaker.
Yeah.
It's
It is a
tree?
skill
Okay.
tree, just like in the first game, but the
But
problem
it
is
branches in the wrong directions.
where it's kind of like Infamous
Oh.
2, where in that
So
game
it
it's
takes
like,
away
oh,
something else, and you can't do that.
Shockwave and then Blastback was one skill, but then they separate it too, and you got to choose what you want. Why are you making
I think
me
it's
weaker
trying to
in
make
the
you play
sequel?
the game again. I think that's the only. It's trying to get
Well, because
replay
like, you
value.
still unlock it, and even if you unlock it, you can get all the skill points, unlock everything. I did that. You have to click what you want that button to do. Oh, you want this to explode with fire? Oh, you want this to explode with acid?
So,
you want this to explode at all?
My only argument against that would be I played a lot of Rage 2 last year, and there are so many powers in that game that the controls just get super muddled. So I would almost take that over like not being able to use the powers because it's a too complicated of a button press.
It's not even that. It's like I'm actually talking about how there were powers in the first game that were one, and it was stronger. It would do like you smash down wave, press another button to do like an upcharge, and it sucks in souls.
Okay.
It's like two separate skills, and you have to select one or the other. There's a lot of those options where in the first game it was one skill and then it's one or the other. And I'm like, you're making me weaker. And that's what I felt in the game, which wasn't fun. Right. Because the first one's just, you run around and you fight. Like, I remember there was one spot, if you rang the alarm, you would fight like 100 at once.
Yeah.
And I would just... I didn't. I loved it because you just sit in the
that's
circle
all I did
and
for
you just
hours.
kill.
I got bored of it eventually. I'm like, I've been playing this for 2 hours fighting these enemies.
I was terrible at that game.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I'll say the one thing that I actually did hate is I never got to come across Kumail Nanjiani. He plays an orc, like, you know, the Indian comedian.
Okay.
He's a voice of him.
Really?
And he just has this whole sass sarcasm, like, do you really want... However, I can't do his voice. Do you really want to do this? No, he doesn't sound like that. his very nasally, funny voice. And the commercial was great. And I'm like, I can't wait to run into him. And then you just look at your watch and you never get to run into him.
He was the 87th orc you killed in that 100 crowd. He's like,
yeah, that's true.
Me.
He's like,
hey, you killed him.
Sam. Wait, was that Kumail? Dang it.
Then you get the little orc trophy. It tells you killed somebody. Yeah, it's like
you killed Kumail.
Yeah,
good
you
job,
can read
jackass.
up about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Like, he was this commander. You're like, oh, great.
It was a
didn't get to hear him
blender.
talk.
I couldn't see anything.
So, Sam, are you having a good time with this game?
I'm nerding out, yeah.
Okay.
But in a head, like, non-canon, this is, like, this doesn't make
if you
sense.
just kind of forget what you know about Lord of the Rings, maybe you could enjoy it as a game.
Your whole life.
I mean,
Well,
I could look at it like a time like transporting thing. Like if I really wanted to stretch it, be like, well, this is what it would have been like, you know, the siege of Minas Ithil, if, you know, it actually made sense.
At Star Wars Episode 8.
Yeah.
Just at Star Wars except Episode 7.
He didn't like 9?
Like 8 and 9. Well, the more I think about it, no.
I like 9.
9 was good.
Yeah,
We're not going into that right now, though.
No, we don't need to go into that.
Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Oh, no, 8 is my favorite number.
Fuck off. Oh, wait, your favorite Star Wars or your favorite number as a person?
How about both?
Oh, dude.
Because
we're cutting that out.
we're going to have words depending on which way you...
Can we just like get like a soundbite and replace it with someone else's voice of being like, Episode 8 is the worst. And it's just Sam. It's like,
I really like
love
episode
8 is the worst.
5. Episode 5 is my favorite
episode.
one.
Okay,
That's
I agree.
Empire,
I like
so
it.
yeah.
I like Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
How far would you say you are in Shadow of War?
I think in the percentage ways, I am like 3% in.
Okay.
What was the last thing
Not
you
very
did?
far. Damn.
The last thing I did was I went and talked to Shelob like 100 times.
Have you had any boss fights?
Ooh, no. The last thing I did was I'm about to get to that first war chief. So I killed a couple war chiefs. Okay. And I'm about to get to like the main head cheese basically. And he's going to be
not very
queso.
far.
Yeah, not very far at all. But like I'm grasping it pretty well. Like, do you get to go to Minas Tirith? Don't spoil it for me.
The only
Did you
thing,
get to a Minas Tirith?
like,
Don't spoil it.
The only thing I might
never.
slightly spoil would be gameplay wise is like basically 75% of the game is really fun and doing one thing and just fighting and having good. Mm-hmm. And then the last bit of the game that is hours of stretched length is just bullshit.
I love it.
Because you just have to get orcs and defend, and that's all it is. Just grind and grind because they wanted you to pay.
Yeah, you
That's
had too
literally
much
what
fun.
it was. You just have to, we just got to get the stronger orcs. You can just pay money, and then you get your little booster pack. Come on. You want to beat the game. You want to beat the game.
I pictured who that was in my head.
Right.
Get the little booster pack.
They look like a mix between like Colonel Sanders, but like fatter, chubbier, and bald.
They should have had Gollum come out and do that. Like,
You want your game? You want to beat it? Pay me $12 for one orc.
And then it's like not even good.
Holy shit.
It was so bad that they then had to remove the system because everyone was
Well, I
so
was
mad
wondering,
with it.
like, if we would get to that point where you were going to tell me that they did actually remove that and Sam doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, as far as I know, like either paying for it, because they revamped it because everybody was pissed
Right.
for a really long time.
Yeah.
They had it in there though for as long as I played it, like a long time of the game's life cycle. But they did backtrack, and either it's free or they don't do it. They did fix it
Eventually,
as far as I'm
after
aware.
they got their money's worth out of all the people buying those things. Yeah,
I do wish I had played, because they have a DLC, because there's a DLC where you play an elf chick, and then there's a who's immortal as well.
An elf chick? You mean Galadriel, the best chick?
No, her
Is it Liv
servant
Tyler?
lady.
Liv Tyler, all the way.
Liv Tyler's overrated.
Liv Tyler is not overrated.
my kid crush. I
She's still like
She's
really,
awesome
really
as
pretty.
well. Yeah.
I have posters over all of them.
crush, Anakin. I loved her.
You look like an angel.
Yeah, I was Kid Anakin with Padme. It's basically
Yeah.
Oof.
Liv Tyler with
Liv
Padme
Tyler.
in my childish world.
That means you will eventually
disgusting.
betray her.
Yeah,
and use her energy to make
She
you
got
live.
old.
Liv Tyler didn't get old.
Dude,
she's
she's
still
like-
she's an elf, isn't? Or no, she's.
She is human, Sam.
I chose immortal life.
He's talking about the character, not the actor.
Head cannon.
She's an elf. She lives forever. That's what my childhood would say too.
I just want her to look like that.
Eventually we'll be the same age.
Actually, this does remind me, little segue of a dumb thing I thought as a kid. I thought if you got on TV, like you hosted a TV show, you were immortal.
Wow.
I was like, Bob Barker's been doing The Price is Right forever. He's immortal. I want to be on a TV show
Steve
because then I'll
Harvey?
be immortal.
Steve
I
Harvey's gonna be
crave
alive
power.
forever?
Spin the wheel for me.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, with Shadow of War.
Yeah.
They had the final DLC
'Kay.
where you play as a human dude who you rescue, and you have to beat it in one go. If you die, you have to start it
right,
over.
right.
Which I was like, how are they going to do that? Because the whole thing is like, you're immortal, blah. But I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
that's
actually
right.
kind of cool to have
Yeah.
to get better and better, and like the rogue-like aspect.
It's almost like Dark Souls.
Soul's
Is
dark.
it?
Yeah,
No,
you have to
because
start
you have-
over if you die.
Soul Calibur.
No, you don't. You respawn at a bonfire. I'm talking about you literally start the entire thing
Sam
over.
plays Dark Souls more hardcore than anybody else, so he just starts over. If he dies,
He just throws the console out and gets a new one. I'm
move out.
hardcore.
I move out of my house.
Yeah, that's what I did. I couldn't beat Sekiro.
I can't use the same electricity as I did before. That didn't
That
work.
game,
Ryan.
Jeez.
Dude, it's not grounded right, bro.
It's not grounded right. Don't even get into Sekiro. My gosh.
no, let's not.
Yeah.
We've talked
We
a lot
had
about
a
that.
huge discussion on it for Game of the Year.
I
We
will say though,
talk a lot about Sekiro.
when you beat someone, I have never felt better in my life than when you beat that boss and you're like, you mother.
Okay, Troy,
Oh, what?
Ugh.
you went to church camp.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like an insult. Oh, yeah,
was
you
it?
go to church camp, don't you?
This kid right here goes to church camp.
At church camp.
I got a little sass today. I'm sorry about that. You went to church camp. How was it, man?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
I went with my church's youth group and got to take Julian and Ty with me.
Okay.
And we had
Guest speakers from the podcast,
Yes.
Julian and Ty
Yes.
from E3 episode last
Yes.
year. Cool.
we had a great time. It was really cool. Bonding experience and all that stuff.
All right. What'd you
Side
guys
note.
do?
It was basically like a Christian concert, like 90% of the time. It was really cool. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, think of the coolest concert you've ever been to. But
Okay. Yeah, got it.
now you got to go to that concert when you were like a teenager and
Alright.
with a bunch of other teenagers that were just there to have fun.
Well, my best concert was Fits and the Tantrums. And I was into my 20s.
Yes.
And Rachel and I went, and there was a lot of teenagers
Yes.
there.
Okay,
So I guess it was kind of like that, then.
Like that. Yeah. And it was just watching those kids go nuts for Jesus, really.
Okay.
It was really cool.
Yeah, that's
That is
cool.
great.
It was
Nice.
awesome.
So what'd you guys do? Like, what you spent the whole weekend there,
The whole
right?
weekend,
Like,
yes.
So yeah, when you say camp, it's not like camp where it's like bonfires.
Yeah, like
and-
Sam's
there's some
camp.
bonfires.
There would be, but it was cold.
Oh, okay. So
So-
it's not exclusively outside.
How do you have
as
a
camp.
cold bonfire?
Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Greek mythology.
Have you ever played Dark Souls?
The burning bush. Come on, guys.
Well, it was cold, so no.
No bonfires.
We tried to stay inside. I mean, there's a lot of walking in between and stuff like that, but yeah.
Okay. So you walked, and there were no bonfires.
No bonfires.
3 days long. Got it.
We hung out. We read our Bibles. We learned more about Jesus and got closer to him.
Was there free food?
there was
just
lots
about
of
to
free
ask
food.
about
And it's good food.
Oh man, there was macaroni and cheese bites, and those things were the bomb.
Were they shaped like dinosaurs, Troy?
They were triangles.
Yeah. I got a
Spacecraft. Okay, got it.
I got an invite to that. Like, you can go for free, and I was like, no, I have to work that weekend.
We would have had so much fun if you would have came
that would have
too.
been insane. Like, if I showed up there, like, dude,
Fucking
Troy,
Troy's
let's
there.
go, dude. What's going on?
You would have been in my track and everything. We would have hung out all weekend.
He wanted me to speak at one of the tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
next year
next year? I don't know if I'll go next year.
you'll go next year.
Okay.
It has been decided.
Listen, Colin, you will go next year.
I will go next.
Have you ever been to
next
Big
year.
Chill?
Why I say it like Obi-Wan?
No.
It doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah. Anyway.
That was the last thing I had done when I was working at the church that Colin goes to. Was the Big Chill. That was really fun.
The Big Chill.
The Big Chill.
Is that like another conference?
It's still a conference. It
We
still
also
goes
had
on.
cold bonfires, hence Big Chill.
Put a blanket around those suckers.
I will say, like, the worship was insane because they had like a group of kids, and obviously they're all like, "Oh, we're just jumping around. We don't care too much." Then they had this dude come out who laid down this insane rap session. Like, it sounds funny. It was the best ever.
you
Like,
talking about
don't you
spoken
remember?
word?
Yeah, spoken
Spoken
word
word,
rap, like
yeah.
whatever he
Yeah.
did. It was nuts. And then everybody's like in the zone.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, there is a Christian rapper that I know named Billy Frisbee.
Okay.
His rapper name is 3CK.
Mm.
Because he grew up in another country, so it's third culture kid. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
So, yeah, and a lot of times he might have been there. Did you go to the Glow show or whatever? Usually they have it on.
They didn't
Oh, they
have
didn't have it. No, that might have been Big Chill.
when it comes to Christian rap, I've had a bad experience with Christian
No,
rap.
he's
On
NF.
account of
He's
your
not-
YouTube
no,
account
he
not
doesn't-
taking off?
He doesn't rap. No, he doesn't. He doesn't rap like Christian. Like, it's clean rap. It's
No,
not.
no. Like, this is not my problem at all.
gosh.
Like, it's usually like, even when, like, okay, so I go to a conference and I used to go pretty much every year, and they'd bring the same guy every single time, and he'd do the same bit, and he'd do the same song, and they did the same dance, and it's like, please, not again, mister. No, please.
Also, if you need a good Christian
my-
rapper, NF.
NF is
I
awesome.
have heard of him, actually.
NF is fucking amazing.
That
Yes.
dude, like,
So good.
My gosh. Freaking the second album, the song about his mom.
The Search is my favorite
Search-
song on that
I
album.
just got, well, no, that's in the, is that in the second album? The
that's the
Search is
third
the new
album.
album.
No, that's
The
the
Search is the
album.
new one.
Okay, my fault.
That one is really
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
But the song about his mom. Jeez.
I think
Yeah.
I've heard that one. That's really sad.
Jeez.
I've only heard Eminem songs about his mom. So
yeah.
This is different. There's
this
gonna
is different.
There's vomit on a sweater already. Mom.
All right, let's move on from that.
Okay.
Troy,
Yep.
you played more Call of Duty, watched more Call of Duty. What Call of Duty is this?
Okay, this is more Call of Duty League. They were
Okay.
in London over the weekend.
All righty.
I was recapping today at work because I didn't get to watch it because Discover
were-
Conference
wait.
doesn't have good Wi-Fi.
You were watching it while you were at work?
Yeah, don't you
Okay.
do that?
No, I don't
okay.
have time for that shit.
Yes, I was watching it at work.
That's good.
Chicago wrecked the house again.
Really?
Yeah, Chicago's just tearing everybody up.
Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta wasn't there, FaZe, and they're like, I would say they're second best, and then third would be Dallas. And
Do they all have like assigned cities? Like is FaZe from Atlanta?
FaZe is from FaZe.
Wait,
Well-
I don't know.
was it in Piccadilly Square? That'd been hilarious if they went there to play Call of Duty.
I don't think so. No,
That would have been awesome. They should have done
been
that.
pretty good.
What's Piccadilly Square?
It's that place in London. It's also a map in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
My brother's been there.
All right.
He goes, dude, I didn't know Piccadilly Square. I was like, I've been there. Because I'm playing it so weird. I was like, I've been there.
Oh my god.
It's like when you play Assassin's Creed and go to Rome.
Yeah.
I know everything.
Or like
I can
Fallout
climb
3.
that.
Where's Da Vinci at?
Yeah.
Where are the buckets of hay? I'm gonna jump into them.
Yeah, you go there in real life. Like, hey, where's the bucket
Start
of hay at?
stabbing people. No, it's okay. It's okay. We're
I
in
saw this in the
simulation.
video game. You go to those countries.
Why are you arresting me?
Start climbing the buildings, those countries, and you see the haystack. Like, it's not there. I was gonna jump from 500 feet. You know, it's fine though.
Just like the NPCs, though. They'll go, get down from there. I think he's lost his
Then they
mind.
start throwing rocks at you. You're like, get down from there.
Just like the simulations.
The simulations, they're real.
Okay, so Call of Duty London, Troy.
Yep. Yeah, Chicago was wrecking house again. Scump went ham.
Okay.
They all did.
So what?
And-
well, like what? You said they're from Dallas. Like what makes them from Dallas?
Okay,
They live
the
there.
owner of the city,
Well, no, that's-
the
I'm wondering,
owner
like-
of the team, like said this is a Dallas team,
Okay.
and like
so Jerry Jones owns the
Yes.
Dallas team.
Yes.
Gotcha.
The owner of Chicago is actually Hex, who started Optic, the original Optic.
Gotcha.
He sold Optic to this someone else, and now that's LA Optic.
Okay.
And then Hex started Optic in Chicago, so he's like, what better place to make my team from than Chicago?
Sure. I mean, there are 100 better places, but yeah. Why not?
I want to go there, and that's my favorite team, so that works out. I'm glad they're from Chicago.
But Chicago sucks.
Not always.
Don't?
Yeah, Chicago
It
sucks.
only sucks if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's terrible.
Chicago's not so bad.
It's not too bad.
In the big area, I guess. I don't know what to say about cities, but I'm with you on Chicago.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, the bean's really cool.
A guy from my work just went to Chicago over the weekend, and he went to the Starbucks that just opened there, the really huge one. It has
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 floors.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's huge. But he said like everything there is so overpriced. Like he got
Oh, yeah.
2 drinks and like a couple of just simple breakfast sandwiches. It was like $40.
Troy,
I'm like,
I mean, how much
Dude,
sandwiches are like
regularly?
$8?
yeah, it's usually not that bad.
So I'm glad you brought up the esports thing
Yes.
here. Do you have any more to say? Because I do have a news bit here.
A little bit. I'm pretty pumped because I filed for my press badge
Okay.
for the homecoming of the Call of Duty League
Oh,
to
nice.
Chicago.
Nice. So they're going to do a competition from Chicago?
Yes.
And you have applied for a press badge for the Idiot Savants.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be cool. Super
I
cool.
I don't
would-
know how many it'll get us.
I don't want to
but-
go to Chicago, but I'll
So-
fucking go to Chicago.
Get us
But
on the
that means
Chicago
like you'd
news
actually
again.
get to interview people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
yeah, that'd be cool. For sure.
and that's what I put in the notes or in my email. I was like, I know our listeners really enjoy when we get interviews, and if I could have like a whole episode of just frickin' interviews from COD League,
yeah.
whether it be spectators or pros or coaches or owners, just in general, it'd be awesome.
Troy, you know we'd have to like try to figure out the logistics on that, right? Like recording and
I have a phone, bro.
And then you got to make sure that if you get enough, you bring me, since I know nothing about it, and I can just be like, "Hey, do you
have
like
you guys played Shadow
basketball?
War?
you guys play Minecraft?
Yeah, it would seem a little scrubby.
Fortnite?
Literally, just like anybody in a crowd, like, hey, it's an interview from my podcast. You pull out your phone.
A lot of people do that, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like Taco Bell? I got the $5 box."
I mean, for real though, like, phone cameras like are kind of like insane to a point where you could actually use them professionally.
Phone
Yeah.
cameras or phone microphones?
Not the microphones,
the
cameras.
Yeah.
but like, I
That's
don't-
the kicker. The microphone's the kicker.
yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
that.
true.
Yeah, you're right. That is the kicker, but it's a
This
little
looks
insane.
beautiful
like
and
how.
sounds
Yeah, I mean,
like
we
ass.
could record this podcast on a phone, and I think it would look fine.
Yes.
but we would not be able to have the audio
Yeah.
from the phone.
Somebody filmed a movie.
yeah,
Like
there's been a couple.
few movies,
yeah, like a lot of music videos too.
no,
are-
I think
are
like
done.
theatrical releases.
Right?
I'm pretty sure somebody filmed one
Yeah.
with an iPhone.
That could
Yeah,
be.
the new Avengers movie.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame was filmed with an
Selfie.
iPhone. You heard it here, folks.
Oh my god. All right, so
effects
this
are
this
iPhone
is
20.
A little bit out of order for news, but we were talking about esports anyway, so I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on this while we're on the subject. Woo-hoo. So this is an article from OZY, and it's kind of a little bit speculative. So the title of the article is, Will College Esports Arenas Soon Compete with Football Stadiums?
No.
So they talked about, like, back in 2009, when people across the country were playing like Left 4 Dead 2 and New Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that. And then they kind of go into like the rapid explosion that esports has had in that time. So globally, esports is now $1 billion industry that is emerging, according to the article here, as a pathway to higher education. So universities like Marquette, Ohio State, University of California all have campus esports clubs that made way for competitive varsity teams. Nearly 200 U.S. colleges now have active esports programs, and many are offering scholarships totaling roughly $15 million per year.
Yep.
A college in the area has one? Really?
Yep, they have an esports coach there.
Now, when they say higher education,
University.
are they talking about like the scholarships for the gaming itself, or they're saying by doing the gaming you can get an education in something else?
That would be my assumption. Just like a sports scholarship for football would be, you are going for, let's say, political science, but you're playing football. The scholarship is because you are playing football, but you are getting your schooling reduced for the amount.
Because it also seems to me sometimes like they don't take esports seriously. Like there was that kid who just won like $3 million in the Fortnite thing.
Yeah.
And and everybody in the news anchors are like, what the hell? If I could just play a game at home and make $10 million, I'm going to get my son to do that. It's
Made
like,
fun of me when I was a kid, Mom.
Like, he's not good.
Because they get so mad. It's kind of like the boomer energy, as everyone was saying.
Yeah.
Well, because like it's the advertisements are so much on it. That's why they can get that.
Yeah.
But for real though, like, okay, so what the article's about is, can it compete with like college football?
And
basically?
yeah, so it goes into. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so like, okay, it says it's $1 billion industry. Now that's worldwide. Now, if you look at worldwide football, like how much money football rakes in,
I would
college
bet
football,
it's more
though.
than that.
I would say maybe a little bit more than that. Like the amount of money floating around from football versus like esports is obscene.
So
obscene.
I mean, agreed 100%. So like, but like regular sports, football, basketball, they are still trying to figure out how to contend with players wanting money for playing those games. And it seems like esports has figured that out. So I didn't know this part actually. So I'm glad there's some good bit of information here. So it says, last semester, nearly 3,500 varsity esports athletes participated at the National Association of Collegiate Esports. Only about 1,000 fewer than the number of Division I NCAA basketball players across 347 hoops programs. And it says here in May, the NCAA left all of its governing rights to for esports to the one that I just said, the National Association for Collegiate Esports. So the NACE is its own entity. Like the esports part is its own, like is not governed by the NCAA, which means it doesn't have to follow NCAA's rules.
So they can actually pay these
and
boys.
they are paying their athletes. That
was what I was actually going to ask about.
So it says, untethered by NCAA's amateur framework, college esports players are keeping their tournament winnings, the only collegiate athletes officially playing for pay. Dang, well, that's crazy.
Is that because you wouldn't be able to get them there anyways if they weren't being paid? Or is it like, I mean, there is a pro entry level. So like after they're done at college, there is professional gaming. I mean, is it all one in the same though, is what I'm asking.
It's probably because their parents wouldn't allow it.
So like after they're done at college, do they have an opportunity to make more money at say like a professional esporting event? Or
I see what you're saying. So is college the maximum amount of esports that you could get to? Well, I mean, there are other esports leagues. Like this is specifically talking about college athletes, but the Call of Duty League Championships is not tied to collegiate stuff.
Okay.
So there are teams that they can make after the fact. There's nothing, I wouldn't say there's anything that's as established as like the NFL is, or the whatever the basketball one is, NBA.
Is there XFL now?
And XFL. I'm sorry, I did watch an XFL game. It was really good.
They're good.
What's NXFL?
No, XFL.
FXFL.
I mean, another big one is StarCraft, right? StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not in college either. It's just that's a huge thing. And
there are a lot of people
tournaments
playing
and
that competitively for sure.
StarCraft 2. Oh, I thought for some reason my brain went Star Trek 2. I was like,
The Wrath of Khan.
So the closest thing right now to Sam to those pro leagues is Call of Duty League, Overwatch League, and they
It's
like
established around games.
Yes, a game has its own league, but there's these
Gears of War has one.
Yes. All those games, I think, well, I know for sure COD and Overwatch are like ran by the same like company that league is. That's why they're called the Call of Duty League and the Overwatch League.
Okay.
Is there like, and they advertise for each other in
I guess
on air.
Now that does make a lot of sense, because I was wondering, like, okay, so if somebody was a professional gamer, it usually only specialized maybe 1 and 2 games, but now that I see that there actually is kind of a diverse thing, like I'm sure there's one for fighting games, like there's a big thing
fighting
around
games
like
are huge.
Fighter
So
Z
many.
had a big showing, and so like now that I think about it, so like if you were a professional gamer, no matter what professional gamer, if you whatever game you played, I'm sure there's a scene in which you can probably flex your game.
Yeah,
because I mean, even when it comes down to fighting, there's so many different types, and a lot of like Fighter Z was very similar to like the Street Fighter style, where they have that specific 2D with the very specific button and pumps, like the Hadouken type stuff,
right?
So a lot of those people that were big in those
they
kind of migrated in, but then they have like the Smash people where that plays different, but it's still a fighter.
Soul
and there's like
Calibur.
Soul Calibur, love Soul Calibur. That's a very different style. And then like Tekken and all those to where there's Dead or Alive even. And then, so there's like subgenres. Usually the fighter tournaments have like different tiers of like it's pretty much a tournament is hosted, and then like each game has its own bracket system where it's like, this fighter tournament has Smash Bros and Tekken and Soul Calibur. Street
Evo
Fighter
is the one that you just mentioned. That's the one I think of. Yeah, but
Evo
like, does it have as big of a payout? Like,
all of those games are at Evo
now.
Like, officially,
would a professional gamer, so like with professional sports, like the players get paid no matter, I mean, they get paid
if they
no
win
matter
or
who
not.
wins.
I see what you're saying.
But like a professional gamer, you get $3 million at the end if you win.
Right.
No, it depends
I don't
upon
know.
the thing you're playing.
I mean,
the reason the Fortnite one was so big is because it was huge and it was advertised, and it was like 100. It wasn't just 100. It was
$100.
Because I mean, each round's 100 people.
Oh,
but I know it was multiple. It was it was long and drawn out.
It was like a double elimination thing too. I think.
But basically, these were like the best players in America or the world or whatever. And then that kid,
I think it was definitely the world because there was a Russian guy there.
Yeah, and I mean, it just was massively advertised. So like the regular tournaments, because there's smaller ones. Like I was reading about a fighter one where it was all of those, and they're all like a few grand. Some of them are more depending upon the game. And then there was Smash Bros, and you get a custom Switch Pro controller, and everybody's like, "What?" What? It's got gold engraving. Cool. Where's my $10,000?
Here's my 10-cent paint kit from Michael. I will make my money.
I guess maybe what Sam's asking to the group here is like, if you don't win, can you still be a professional gamer? Because you can be a professional athlete without being Kobe Bryant, RIP.
Yeah. I think it depends. I mean, if you're professionally getting paid, like Ninja, for instance, goes into tournaments and stuff, but he also just makes money streaming, I guess.
Yeah, they pay him to be there.
But he's a personality.
That's true.
If you're just a professional gamer and the thing you do is fucking play games really fucking good.
But you only come in second place.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But you only come in second place. Right.
He was that one kid from China. Always beating me.
He was a pro Halo player before he played
I forgot
Fortnite
he was super
at all.
into Halo. Yeah.
Like that's what he was on a pro Halo team.
I knew someone in a pro Halo team.
I would imagine there's places where that is and then isn't, because esports is still kind of weird.
It's true.
And I think even in that tournament where the kid did win $3 million, the people who were in the last game got something.
Yeah, I think they got
thing of cheese puffs.
they got somewhere in the range of thousands of dollars for making it that far.
Like
it was nowhere near millions, but
I think second place might have gotten close. Though.
Yeah.
I think. I don't remember, but I would imagine that it's kind of a middle ground of depending upon where they're playing, what they're playing. But I would say, same thing as professional sports.
The more traction it gets, the more sponsorships will be a little more eager
the more
to invest
money that's
in.
there,
because it's
the more
all about
established it's going to get.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the early days of the NFL, like the NFL was two different leagues in the 60s. It was the AFL and the NFL, or the NFC, I think. So they had to combine to become the NFL. So there have been like establishments, like there's a precedent set, I guess is what I'm trying to say, for sports to become pro.
Yeah. They need enough people to watch, or else it doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
Do you think they'll respect their players enough? Like, okay, so for instance, like if a professional player, so like the supply and demand, so like there's a huge demand for professional players. Like you have to be really, really good. Yeah. And the people that are paying the big bucks are willing to do that because, you know, there's such a high demand. Right. They have a respect for their players. But I mean, if you have like, let's say an MLG gamer, right? Like, do they respect their players enough that they'd be willing to pay them the big bucks? Or would they be like, if you want more money, you're out because we've got like 100 million gamers like standing in line behind you?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, would they take it seriously?
Well, I guess.
Or is it just?
I mean, I guess we'll get there, right? Like the NFL, if you don't perform on that specific level that they need you to, you're out. Like those people are always cycling through teams.
That's true. I
mean, there's a lot of people like just watching the XFL, right? Like there are a couple guys on some of those teams that have been on 7 or 8 NFL teams in 6 years or 5 years in the league. Like there's just people who haven't found establishments or haven't established themselves onto teams yet. So I would say that type of a system would develop itself just out of need.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not just like a fad market and eventually they're just like, okay, we put our money there and it's kind of dying, let's take it out.
I mean, I hope not. This article calls out specifically like esports relationship to football because that's obviously the most popular sport in the US right now. But it says in May, Full Sail University in Florida officially opened a new $6 million, 11,200 square foot esports arena.
It would be Full Sail. It would be.
Dubbed the Fortress Sports Arena, it features high-end monitors and video production equipment, along with a room for 500 fans, making it the largest competitive venue on a college campus.
Hold up, 500?
Competitive gaming venue on a college campus.
Okay.
So Ohio State also is building one, but this one's only 4,000 square feet and it only seats 80 people. So when you compare it to that fucking piece of shit, this thing looks huge.
But
500
high school
fucking
auditoriums
people.
seat more people than that.
I mean, it's Ohio State, so we can just leave it at that.
Yeah, fuck Ohio State for sure.
Because with the esports, isn't it bigger viewership is more for online?
Yeah, I suppose
yeah, for sure.
Right.
I mean, people, but like
it's a show.
Dota 2 has a tournament yearly that people go to and buy tickets to. Like
80 people.
That thing's big.
It's more than 500.
No,
it's
hundreds
imagine.
for sure. I don't know what is that called. What is that tournament called, Troy? The Dota 2 thing
called Dota Boda.
Dota League.
Bring your load.
Is it?
No, I don't know. Well, I mean,
Cash?
Chicago Huntsman's thing. Their home series is at Wintrust Arena.
What is that?
In Chicago. It's an arena. I would assume they play sports there.
Sounds trustworthy.
This article says that an esports strategist at Full Sail calls the Fortress, which is the
you gotta say it like he would, though. The Fortress.
Our administration wanted to make efforts so that our graduates could break into the growing industry, says Bennett Nussbaum, esports strategist at Full Sail. The Fortress has been called a combination of the Luxor Arena, the Riot Games Studio, and Overwatch Studio.
Is that what he actually sounds like?
I don't know. Yes, I did that. We got a clip of him talking.
Yeah.
Dang.
Thank you.
Accurate.
What was it? Bennett. That sounded like a Bennett. I'll give you that.
That is true. That
could be
sounds like a
Benet.
Bennett. Oh gosh, that does sound like a Benet. My name's not Bennett, it's Benet.
And it may be, I might have got that wrong.
Banana.
So it is no secret that esports is the fastest growing sport in the world. This movement has gone global. Not even American football can say that, which is true, but also like millions, 99 million people watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like talk to us when you've got over maybe 4 or 5 billion. I'd say. I don't even know how much NFL is worth, but it's probably over.
I'm sure it's more. Yeah.
I mean, the worldwide aspect is cool because like it's just gaming connecting everywhere,
and it is cool for sure. I'm not trying to shit on this, but like
Call of Duty League was in London this weekend.
That's awesome.
I mean, in the end, the coolest thing is that it's making gaming easier. So like.
Gamers rise up.
It's kind of like the whole thing where like there's now the people are more into anime and games and stuff to where like it's easier to just talk to people about stuff that you have
anime or Sam fits in where he goes places now.
Yes.
Whereas like 10 years ago he wouldn't have.
Yeah,
now he
I
can
didn't
walk
even
in
like
and go
anime.
"Shinderu," and everybody's like, "Hey, I got
you're
it."
from that one weeb thing. You can get out." And all us weebs can just sit on the curb.
Now that Curb is lonely.
So you said Full Sail like you knew what that was. I think I've
It's like
that
an
sounds
IT
familiar.
school, isn't it?
It says it's a for-profit university specializing in a range of technical degrees like audio production, gaming design, and broadcasting.
That's why. I just remember seeing like a bunch of YouTube ads because I was a gamer back in the day.
Gotcha.
And it'd be like, go to Full Sail University. We make video games.
It says the Fortress has already played host to an NBA 2K League tournament and the Call of Duty Collegiate Invitational is coming up in July.
That's funny. Okay.
Fortress.
You can play at a major league event of a major league event. That's an actual major league event.
Wait, so this
is Major League Inception.
The Fortress Inception.
Yeah, this article does not go into specifics about what you could possibly make after leaving a university in a professional gaming space.
Same as an art degree, maybe.
Yeah, same as an art degree. Yep.
Sorry.
Probably.
An English degree.
An English degree, maybe.
English degree, yeah.
Relatable. Fucking A.
Or a dropout.
I went in for women's studies.
Congrats.
I still
haven't found a job.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
There's still a mystery.
I didn't learn anything, and I paid so much money.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back with some other shit. Woo!
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I'm Swanson, host of the TV Tuners podcast. Every week on TV Tuners, me and my co-hosts, Keo Rain,
Swanson, I need water.
and Stairmaster, review the latest in TV, discuss news, trailers, and even find time to play some fun games. Right now, we're working overtime to cram as much TV knowledge into our brains as possible. Isn't that right, guys?
Swanson, we've been here for 24 hours. We need to get out of here.
Not until you answer who Norm is.
He's Fraser's brother.
Wrong. You get the shock. Check out TV Tuners, available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or any of the podcatchers of your choice.
All right, welcome back from break, everybody. So, we are going to get to a next segment. We're going to get to the next segment that we like to call...
News time.
News time!
It's news time.
News All right.
Satellite picture.
Hey,
motion
come
and
on my
face.
cell phone.
Okay. First bit of news comes to us from Polygon. Drake signed streaming deal with Caffeine. When I first read this, I was like,
Digital coffee.
the rapper?
Yeah, am I high? What's
Was
going
it
on?
Starbucks? What? So it says
I heard a lot about it.
musician will co-produce a rap battle show with URL for the streaming platform. So I don't know what URL is.
Yeah.
It must be a person.
I know some of these words.
I've heard, yeah.
Somebody
I've heard
just-
the letters URL put in sequence with one another. Oh, I'm sorry. The Ultimate Rap League is the URL.
I totally knew that.
Did
dude.
you?
Yeah.
I did not.
It's so original.
Honestly, it sounds like a bad
Where is
Mad
their
Libs.
representation at eSports?
Evidently, streaming site Caffeine has signed a multi-year deal that will include live streams, a co-produced show, and more quote-unquote curated live content in the future.
You mean CLC?
This whole thing is like a mixed bag.
CILTGSPLTAM.
So Caffeine is similar to game streaming platforms like Twitch and Mixer, but Caffeine hasn't been home to the kind of high view streamers of those services. Oh, thank you for putting Mixer in with Twitch on the same level. Dear Polygon, that's very nice of you, who often stream every day for hours on end. Instead, Caffeine has largely focused on partnering with high-profile celebrities like rapper Offset and Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, who both stream games on the platform. So, yeah, I thought this was stupid enough to put in the news.
Can they give us like a longer list of more obscure celebrities that they have on there? We got the rapper T-Pain.
He's not obscure.
I think he's a bit more obscure now.
Yeah, having not really had any popular songs.
So,
In Love with a Stripper, though, that is a fucking gem.
Yes.
I will say, that song is amazing.
Might I be big dumb here?
Okay.
And so, like, is it that Drake's doing games, or is he streaming music? What's going on here?
So he's
streaming live like rap.
Yeah, so it's not going to be necessarily gaming related, because it seems like they do have Juju streaming games and Offset streaming games, but that's not necessarily their focus.
That's not
Why
what
would I want to
Drake
listen
do.
to Drake
People-
rap
no,
I mean,
live?
Drake is like, he
Drake
plays
plays
Ninja,
Fortnite,
he plays
yeah.
games.
No,
got
I
his
think you
album.
go on the show and like it's like a rap battle.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. If I'm understanding it correctly, I could be wrong.
It says Caffeine streamers can make money when they're streaming without the need for consistent daily content that other platforms encourage. This can make streaming an easier fit into busy schedules and opens Caffeine up to host regularly scheduled shows like Drake's Ultimate Rap League co-production.
URL.
So that's kind of cool, actually, because I think the biggest reason, obviously the biggest reason I haven't gotten to streaming is because of the time sink. So
Because you have a life?
I've tried it. Rachel tried a little bit. A couple of her friends have tried it. And it's such a fucking hassle to stream from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every night. 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, whatever it takes. But that's what you have to do on a consistent basis to gain a viewership.
that's that's like
And that's an impossibility. I can't do it.
no, not at all.
So
You can't pick different times, or
no, there are recommendations for how to build a streaming viewership.
Yeah,
and
gotcha.
one of them is stream a lot and stream at the same times every day.
Consistency.
Consistency is key.
that makes me
For
think
everything.
That's why our Twitch hasn't been doing so well. I'm assuming
It's probably why. Yeah, because there's 2 videos on it, and one of them was shot with your phone taped to a piece of wood in the corner of my living room at my old house. No big deal.
So
they're doing all kinds of stuff professionally with phones.
welcome to my caffeine channel. This is me talking to a phone for 5 minutes. Give me $1,000.
I'm now
YouTube-
I will rap battle Drake.
YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch are all the same way. They encourage a
consistency.
fuck ton of content.
Then there's a few people who just break it.
Yeah.
Like JonTron, for example, is a person who
Sure.
he can disappear for 3 months, comes back, boom. There's some
That is
people
true.
Yeah.
who break it,
but probably not on.
But
I wouldn't
most
imagine on
people
Twitch.
don't have that luxury.
no.
They don't have that type of a following that after they drop off will come back to watch them when they come back. You have to have enough people paying attention to you even coming back to make that happen.
you just need to make sure that you wear a bikini, Sam.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to my. Oh, hello, boys. okay. Let's play some games.
Okay.
That's a reference to a different video.
And then
but
you will very much have lots of viewers.
the way I hope so. The way I see it, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it kind of reminds me of YouTube versus YouTube TV. So YouTube kind of got a big head and just figured hey, we got all this content and we're doing it for free. Why are we doing that?
Right.
And,
For sure.
And that makes me think the more content or the more diverse content you find on these streaming services or whatever, do you think it's going to get like, all right, we're premium content?
I think it will take viewership away from YouTube for sure. Like the fact that Caffeine is willing to host weekly shows, I think is super cool. Like that opens up the potentiality. I mean, we could stream weekly on Twitch.
Yes.
Like that is a thing we could do. We don't have to stream all the time.
That's a thing that a lot of podcasts do.
And a lot of podcasts do that already, but it's nice that Caffeine's like, this is our setup. Yeah. We do weekly shows. Like we don't need you to be putting bullshit. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I don't watch a lot of streamers and I don't like that type of content because it's too much for me. Like, I don't need to just sit down and watch somebody play a game. But a once a week podcast? Fuck yeah, I'll watch that. Hell yeah. Like, I got that kind of time.
And I mean, a lot of what you see is just boobs playing the game. And they're like, oh, yeah, watch me. And it's like, this is all the compilations. Where's the funny stuff? Tits. Yeah.
I did
my
watch
$5 I grabbed out of my mom's purse. Thank you. Can you please get it for me?
I did watch one clip on Twitter about a month ago. There was, I think it was posted by one of the gaming things that I follow, and it was a guy streaming himself, and he was like, an English guy, and he's like, okay, I'm not going to look at her tits.
Hang on, do
Here
English,
we go.
English accent.
I can't do it. Yeah. And then, like, because they did the eye tracking thing, and then he first starts it, immediately looks at it.
I love that.
Oh, it's so, I was in the bathroom at work, and I, like, fucking lost it. God damn.
Like, wait, is it tracking my eyes, too?
Oh, that was funny. So, I mean, there is content to be had there, but, like, that type of long form, watch a dude play Paladins or Fortnite, like, that's not my game.
And then the other thing I also think is like the flip side of this coin, as well with like what happened with all the video streaming services. Eventually it might get to be too many. And so everybody's just kind of like, oh, because it's like you got Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, CBS, ABC, like they're all getting their own, and it's like,
NBC has their own.
I mean, piracy's back up to what it used to be. It went almost
the golden
dead.
age of
It went
when
almost
it was
dead
Netflix,
when Netflix
because it was
charged one
place,
price. Yep.
$12, whatever. Now it's $12 for Netflix, $12 for Hulu, $12 for Disney, $12 for ABC, $12 for Amazon, and they're each getting their one show. Which, you know, the boys.
Hey, bro, can I get that password?
Can I get your password? It's becoming more like music, right? Like everybody's individual
becoming like TV.
tastes are, well,
The whole
I guess
thing
so.
was to get rid of
but it's
cable.
worse than TV because at least on TV, Troy and I could say, hey, on ABC, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch Lost.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge thing when I was in high school. People were watching Lost and fucking sit down to watch that show. I would go over to friends' houses on a school night
it's more
and go
social,
watch. And that was a social experience.
You're not watching on your phone in the bathroom.
Exactly. But now, like, it's
How
a
did
lot,
you know?
It's a lot like music in that, like, I have my own taste in music that's different from my wife, that's different from Troy, that's different from Colin, Sam. Like, everybody consumes their own music, and it's not really a social thing unless you share a song. So now to enjoy that socialized experience like a Netflix show, I have to text my sister and be like, new episodes of Lost in Space out.
Do you like The Witcher?
Like, yeah.
You want to watch that?
Yeah. The Witcher.
You have Amazon? You want to watch The Boys?
Exactly.
I don't have
but
Amazon.
I don't. Oh well. Never mind. I guess don't watch it.
No,
Like,
I did.
fuck.
That is a good show,
Fuck.
by the way. That is a good show.
But
It does make it hard to host podcasts as well, because at the end, with all these different streaming services, you have to say, find us on
Mixer with Drake, Ultimate Rap Battle, URL, and
URL.
Twitch, and YouTube, and MySpace,
yeah,
and
the ending
Facebook.
segment of this we've kind of just stopped doing because it's like you've tuned out, right, listeners? You've tuned out.
Links
it's not a big
in
deal.
the description below. Read it
Exactly.
yourself if you want to know.
Yeah, hit our Linktree link in the show notes if you want to go to follow us on one of those channels.
I guess the eventual hope would be that some of this stuff gets enough traction to kind of deal a wound to YouTube, so therefore it'll fix some of the garbage.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they are just...
That would be great.
They're tyrants.
full on ramming their creators.
Yep.
And it is insane. Like,
a lot of
I
it
would-
had to do with
yeah.
imprudence with, advertisement and some regulations
And
that were just outstanding.
Yeah,
then the
all the kid stuff and copyright stuff.
the
and
advertisers being like, we want to be and then they're like, okay, everyone, you're fucked.
I have a theory and I don't think this is probably, it's my theory. I didn't read about it from somewhere else, but I'm sure somebody else has said this. I think YouTube is ran by an algorithm. Like, nobody is looking at YouTube.
Hello, everybody.
At
It's
Google.
President John
Nobody at all.
Henry
It is ran
Eden.
by AI.
Yeah.
100%.
Great
That's-
America.
Yes.
I'd say
Thank
like
you, John Henry Eden.
99%.
Yeah,
There's
I'd agree.
There's like one dude who's like, should I do something? Not today.
Nah. On Wednesday, I'll
It's
do
like me.
something.
He does his once a week streaming.
Well, it's an algorithm
alert.
until the people need to become involved. That's what it is.
Yeah.
At first, it's ran by one, and then if it gets enough traction, the people
And
are
then
like,
the
oh,
AI
we'll step
looks at
in.
it. Yeah, the AI looks
Yeah.
at it.
The
Luckily,
AI looks
there's,
at
like,
it, and then another AI looks at it that checks that AI's work,
yeah,
and then another one, and then it's an actual person that's like, and the AI will do
Just
it.
one guy who only works on Wednesdays.
Yeah, and then you get the Comcast Indian dude who really doesn't speak to you very well and is like, I can solve your problem, but not really.
Yeah, you can.
And then you have to go through them, and then more AIs, and then a voicemail, and then you're like, can I just talk to someone who knows?
give me credit card number.
No,
Cut that out if
I
you
just want to. I want to get my service working. Okay, you go this way. Yes.
But that's why I thought it was cool that, like, I'd never heard of Caffeine until this Polygon article.
Don't you know coffee?
Yeah. I've never heard of the streaming platform Caffeine
Can we
until
make
this
like a
article.
versus of this streaming service and call it coffee? Then there'll be Java,
Y'all stream on
cappuccino.
coffee?
No, actually, it'd be kind of cool if you called it B12. I don't know. That
Okay.
sounds pretty good.
Boys 12.
Vitamin B12?
That does
Girl,
not-
you need a shot of B12.
Okay.
Can we make a boys band called B12?
Yes, we can absolutely make a boy band called B12. I am on
12
board.
That is
B12
American Dad.
Be Dad
That is
already.
already done.
Sorry, Sam, that's taken.
Yeah, we can't. That sounds a little weird, actually. B12.
Wait, do you not know what that is?
What? It's a B12 vitamin.
No, there's literally like that's a joke boys band in
It's a
American
whole
Dad.
episode in
Wait,
American
It's a whole
Dad.
episode where they're trying to make the biggest boy band. And
Is
they
that
make
12?
boys 12, and it's
Yeah.
12 of them.
That's what
Wait,
I
are you
said. I
serious?
haven't
Yes,
seen the
the
show.
music video is
so dumb.
amazing.
Is that so-
and then at the end of it, it's all run by this kid's uncle. And then they get a call that their rivals made a 14-boy band, and then he kills himself.
So I made a
They're like,
fake
don't worry,
boy
we can
band.
get 3 more boys. Bang!
So I made a fake boy band that's an actual real
Yes,
boys band.
you
That's
did.
fictional?
Good job,
Oh,
Sam.
cool.
Yes. Like he was singing a
I
real
was
song
singing the
from
song.
from the show.
All right, this one's for you, Troy.
Yes.
This is another Polygon article. Pokemon Sword and Shield players are seeing more hacked monsters recently. So I wanted to ask you about this because
Yes.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
I
this
love
and I
that one.
haven't super been playing
Litten.
Pokemon too much lately.
Litton's lit.
So the article says Pokemon has always had hacking problems.
Yes.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
always.
update me on the hacking problems
So,
of Pokemon real quick. Quick rundown.
All right. So Pokemon, you can only have Pokemon from games. But some people are lazy. I've never done this before.
Okay. Yep.
And so shiny Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
It's literally the click of a button on this app that'll make a Pokemon, right?
Ooh.
So shiny,
Oh, wait,
perfect
no,
stats.
you showed me this.
Yes.
Yep, you showed
shiny,
me this.
perfect stats. Oh, it's in the game. I got the perfect Pokemon.
Now, like, is this more of a problem now with the Pokemon competitive stuff?
That is where it's a problem. Is
Okay,
competitive.
okay.
But they've kind
I
of
mean, with your
fixed
own
that.
single player game, like, what the fuck ever? What's it
Yes,
matter if you
yeah.
want best Pokemon ever?
Yeah. So the thing that the way they fixed that was if you caught it in that region, like they keep track of like, so let's say you wanted the Pokemon Arceus,
Okay.
God Pokemon, right?
All right.
So that's only ever been released like once or twice ever in any Pokemon game.
Whoa.
And if that Pokemon is from a different area, like you saw it on Route 2 in the Galar region, no, that's a fake Pokemon.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you can detect the fakes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And actually, I just read about this. I didn't know the news. I've been out of Pokemon recently. I've been
Yeah.
playing a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The guy that I talk about all the time from the Pokemon podcast, SBJ, just posted Linton or Pokemon Home is not out yet. All these Pokemon that you're seeing are fake. If you care about fake Pokemon and want to keep your account legit, do not accept these or release them as soon as you get them.
That wouldn't be my fucking fault. If
No,
Nintendo
he's not
bans
saying
my
that.
goddamn account
He's
because
not-
I accepted a Linton from a surprise trade, fuck off.
No, he's not saying that you'll get. SBJ saying, so he is very passionate about, I have a living dex, I own all these Pokemon, these are my Pokemon, and they're all legit Pokemon. A lot of people don't
so you didn't
care.
cheat to get them. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
all right, a lot of
what
people
he's
don't care.
saying is-
I am a
yes.
person that doesn't care.
Yes, you
So
wouldn't
he's talking
care.
about like integrity.
Yes.
What is that word?
Huh?
What is integrity?
I think it's a Swedish phrase that denotes the sort of like underside of a pancake that doesn't get the maple syrup.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
I would like some delicious integrity. The sequel to Ratatouille.
I'm so confused right now. Are we talking
I
about
think
Pokemon?
It might have been like a bit of an Anchorman reference. We're still technically talking about Pokemon.
It was.
Go ahead. All right.
So, yeah, I mean, if you don't care, get on Surprise Trade and go crazy because these Pokemon you can't get anywhere else.
So people are hacking their game
Yes.
to get these new Pokemon that are coming, and then
And
they're
putting it in to
trading
trade it.
them.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that Hoodlum columns
Dang.
just up on the screen right now. Like, holy crap, I got a lit in. I
If
follow
you
that
can't
guy.
beat them,
Nice.
join them.
Nice.
So,
Dang.
That's cool. I mean, I like
in
that I
Pokemon
can
Home,
get
yes.
these Pokemon without having the updates.
yes.
How-
And that's what it is.
That's crazy.
And that's what they said when the DLC releases. Pokemon Home is going to let you bring some Pokemon in right away. Litten and some of the other starters, stuff like that.
And that's not like, when does that come out? Like soon? They must have patched the
February,
Pokemon in
sometime.
already.
Yes. I mean, I believe they've dug into the code and all of the Pokemon are there. Like the code for every Pokemon is there, but there's no sprites and there's no data. There's just a name.
Right.
Like all of them, or just the ones
Like-
they're adding?
Like all of the Pokemon ever, but they're not all in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Were you upset with that?
No, I
No.
it didn't bother me at all. I like at first I was, but the more I played the game, and I tried to keep myself spoiler free, and that was a big thing, and I believe that was a big thing for you too, Ryan. Was like, what does this Pokemon do?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like I don't know what this Pokemon is, or what it turns into, or what its typing is.
That was
and
one
this
of my-
is exciting. It's
Yeah.
like a brand new game.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone should hack like a Yu-Gi-Oh monster into the Pokemon game, and if it trades, it must be legal, right?
Eyes White Dragon. Oh,
It's just like a shiny Hydreigon.
I'm gonna name him Seto.
I don't think this is that big of a deal. People on Twitter, according to this Polygon article, seem to be freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
This guy says, my timeline is full of hacked Pokemon in a video game. Y'all are impatient. Holy guacamole. Respect minus 100 points. What the fuck does it matter? It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't to most people, but to super passionate Pokemon players, like if they're trying to keep the game legit and you get bombarded with
Purists, as it were.
with these fake Pokemon that aren't legit, like
I mean,
they don't want those touching their account
fucking
at all.
Newsflash, all Pokemon are fake. I'm just going to say that right off.
not
He's got a point. He's got a point. So,
I understand.
I understand this purist sensation for real. So some people, when they hack games, like if it's a fighter game, let's say you've got stats in a fighter's game. If I worked for my stats and my character is genuinely better because I worked harder to make it better, but you just typed in the numbers you wanted on your character, like, well,
Good point.
I'm glad I was able to compete with you, I guess. I
Right.
don't know.
Well, that's purist in like the competitive stance.
Right,
that's-
if
that's-
it's
this
a
is where-
single
would
player
say-
game,
That's where
it's
this
bad.
makes sense.
Because then
This
you're
is-
just cheating
yeah.
against someone who worked hard. But also, you know, even though he said minus 100 on respect, if we have none, then it doesn't matter.
But that's the only real reason that this like has any stance at all.
It's competitive.
It's competitive.
Okay.
Competitive
Right.
play. These Pokemon don't exist yet, especially in this game. They don't belong here. Get them out.
Have they already brought them into competitive?
No, they can't.
That's
Okay.
good.
It's impossible.
That's good.
That's good.
With hackers,
I'm sure
nothing
they
is
will
impossible.
figure it out, but right now,
I mean, well, you saw the one screen where somebody was bringing a Decidueye into a max raid battle, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, you can't do that
Why can't you
Believe
do that?
because that Pokemon's not in the game yet.
Oh, okay.
And so,
but a max
people
raid battle
seeing
is
that-
a co-op thing.
Yeah, but just seeing that is like, why?
Yeah.
Still
Why?
cheating.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
want you to use a Decidui while I'm trying to battle with you. Like,
It's not fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Like I was
Yeah.
looking forward to same thing, seeing what Pokemon they're gonna release with this update in Pokemon Home and what you can bring in and can't. And that kind of, it's spoilers, and most people don't like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is a little spoilery as to what you can bring in and what you can't. And I wanted to avoid spoilers for this game, but like at the same time, the minute I can get a Linton or
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for Decidui
Gray
now.
Ninja, the minute I can get
Yeah.
Gray Ninja, I'm gonna fucking do it.
I was almost sad when my Litten evolved because I was like, I loved you, and now you're scary.
You've changed.
I have this bad habit of naming my starter Pokemon after my wife every game. So like starts out super cute, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then
No.
sorry, honey.
You
Tell
should
him-
never
tell
play
him-
Darkest Dungeon.
Tell them what Pokemon you named after your wife and what it turned into.
Well, I in X and Y, I had the little pig.
No, that's not X and Y. That was in Black and
White.
Black
yeah,
2.
White 2 and Black 2. In White 2, I had the little pig. What's the
Tepig.
Tepig.
So cute
super
little
cute pig. And then its final evolution is like a sumo wrestling. Like he's got a singlet on, wrestling pig. And I'm like, I am so sorry. This is not how I feel about you.
I didn't know. I
didn't
swear.
know.
I swear.
I look at
Fucking
the
A.
evolution charts.
I did that. I did that. This game with the new. I can't even think of the name of it now,
You
but
named
it
after
turns
Ryan's
into
wife?
Eldegoss. No, my wife.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I named it Brenda, and it like gets this big head.
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well, you're really smart. It kind of works.
Sorry.
This is nothing to do about your ego.
You're really fluffy."
All right, next bit of news. Oh, fuck, we got a third Polygon article. Okay. Good job, Polygon. Just fucking killing it here. Sony purchases Insomniac Games for $229 million. So
I'm excited about that.
they did
personally.
Ratchet and Clank.
I'm
they did
not.
the last Spider-Man game.
which was incredible.
they
Quite.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank really was incredible.
they also
Not Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man.
They also still own the Sunset Overdrive IP, which was a Microsoft exclusive. So now, does Sunset Overdrive come to PlayStation? Is it even worth it to bring it to PlayStation?
It was
Like-
kind of funny that they had the same voice actor play the main character in Sunset and then Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Which I will say, like,
I mean, I can
when
see
they-
influences between those games now that you say that,
yeah.
just in general.
I mean, after I
Like the
watched
traversal
oh yeah,
and-
I watched the gameplay of it, and there's a lot of similarities. Like, because him is because he's Sasuke was big than he's known for,
Uh-huh.
and when they
Okay.
announced him, I'm like, great, Spider-Man's gonna be annoying. And then I play the game, and he's like the best
yeah.
by a long shot. He gets it perfect. The game was fun. It was definitely better than 2, which I was not expecting. So
Are we still talking about Ratchet and Clank, or
No,
We're talking about
Spider-Man.
No,
And you're talking
I
about
know.
Spider-Man.
I didn't know that the voice of Sasuke was the same guy who voices Spider-Man.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
And I
Except,
was
I'm
not
a dub
expecting him to
kinda
be
guy.
good, but he's like the best. I was very impressed because I was expecting him to be annoying. I was disappointed, and then I played the game, and perfect.
Does he go? Hang on a second.
Harry.
Yeah, something.
No. Funny.
Mary Jane.
Funny little segue. When I was playing it, the game freaked me out a little bit because there's like a passcode that goes to a date, and the date was my birthday. And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
We know who you are.
They know who I am.
That's a big chunk of change, though. Would you say
Yeah,
that's worth it?
$229 million is fucking, that's a lot.
So that
Like-
sucks for us that wanted to play the next Spider-Man that came out on our
Yeah.
Xboxes, though.
Well,
you're
they
not
wouldn't have done it
gonna do
anyway because
that.
the Spider-Man itself was exclusive.
Yeah, just because.
Just that game, though.
Right. Like, Insomniac
Sony-
has
yeah.
made games for other platforms.
Yeah.
They're not tied, they weren't tied to PlayStation until now. So this says that they joined Sony's worldwide studios family, and that gives them 14 first party studios for Sony.
I mean, they are bagging down on grabbing them up. I mean, exclusives.
Microsoft too. Yeah, for sure. Both of them are trying to compete in that exclusivity space because of the comparability between the two consoles. Like, what else can you do? You can only segment off that content. Yeah. Like, that's the last play you have.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But I just thought this was cool. It's a bummer I won't see any Insomniac games anymore. I thought that Sunset Overdrive wasn't terrible, from what I played. But,
my theory is it's not about Spider-Man. It's about Ratchet and Clank, and they're going to bring it back in a big way on the new PlayStation.
They just had a Ratchet and Clank game in 2016.
Are you
so it
serious?
Wasn't super long ago.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I remember was for PSP.
They did a redo of the first one.
All right, next bit of news comes to us from GameSpot. Microsoft and Samsung are partnering for cloud gaming.
Woot woot! I got a Samsung
I can
and an Xbox.
Play my video games in an airplane. I'm very happy about this.
So they're saying this is, quote, an important step in our Project xCloud journey. So this says, we believe players around the world should have access to great high-quality games on their on the device of their choice, a Microsoft spokesperson said. Working with partners like Samsung is an important step in our Project xCloud journey that will make game streaming more accessible to gamers. We look forward to sharing more later this year, so I would guess at E3.
Yes.
So I've been testing Project xCloud. I played some Destiny on it last week. It played fine.
I tried to play Destiny.
It felt
my
okay.
phone was like, well, I was on the works Wi-Fi, so
right.
It was like, moving, not moving.
Like, it's a cool idea, but I mean, if Stadia is anything to go by,
no,
I don't know.
Nothing like that.
xCloud works way better than Stadia from what I've
xCloud works amazing.
Though that is at that home Wi-Fi if it's a good speed, though, right?
That's what I heard. That
I played it at Outback Steakhouse, and it worked better than it should have. But that was also console streaming, not the xCloud streaming, which is pulling from their own servers.
I think, actually, most things that I've done, like church's Wi-Fi, my console streaming doesn't work as well as xCloud did.
Yeah.
xCloud works better because I'm using their stream, sending it straight to my phone.
That's a good point.
Instead of sending it from my console to my internet, then to the internet, then to my phone.
Right.
Well, if it works well, then that's good.
It works amazing. Way better than it should.
For gamers if it works, for sure.
The only thing, though, that I can say could be bad in the long run, at least right now with how crappy some of the internet people is capping on the data.
Yeah.
Because that's got to use a lot of data.
It definitely does. And I don't know what this is going to be. Like, Samsung makes phones, they make TVs, they make a lot of different things. And Microsoft already partners with them for their Samsung phones. Like, you can buy Samsung Android phones on the Windows Store that have Android installed and, like, all the Google stuff erased and just Microsoft stuff on them.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So, like, they already kind of have a partnership there where they are using Android against Google in a weird way.
It almost seems inhumane.
Wow. That's actually kind of insane.
Bing.
Like, there's a rivalry between, like, Google, Android, and then Apple, but now they're like, there's a little bit, like, a rivalry just between Android and Google.
I mean,
it's weird.
If you look at Ryan and I's phone, it still looks like a Windows phone.
Yeah, and I love the customability of customization ability, the ability to customize.
Custolos also.
We're thinking too much about it. Anyway,
the ability to customize Android, but I don't know what this partnership is going to be. Like, do we think this is going to be a hardware thing? Like, are they going to work with Samsung on the phone end and figure out what phone configuration can stream the best? Like, are we talking about different sets of chips inside of phones to pull data faster?
That
kind
or
of thing?
5G.
Maybe like the old school, like having a phone that's got the controller built in, like that Nokia thing did that one time.
The N-Gage?
Yes.
How do you remember the N? Nobody remembers the N-Gage, Troy.
You do. I didn't remember the name.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could do that, but I mean, do we get, like, eventually out of this partnership, do we get a Microsoft endorsed streaming phone that says like, hey, this phone is the best for streaming.
This is an xCloud phone.
Right, this is an xCloud phone. Maybe not be branded as such, because I'm sure it's going to be Samsung branded or run Android.
The official phone of xCloud.
Right. This will do it the best because here's the reasons.
Yes.
I think that could be cool.
I'm going to be due for a new phone this year, so Microsoft anytime now.
Yeah, if you just want to release the details about that. So we'll look forward to E3 to probably hear more about this. I think that's cool. I think that Microsoft could learn things from Samsung having like failed at their own phone business. Yeah. It's good for them to let somebody else take the reins on that a little bit.
Why did Samsung fail at their own phone business?
No, Microsoft failed at their own phone business. No, Samsung's fine. Yeah, if I said Samsung, I'm sorry. I meant Microsoft.
Oh, yeah, we knew what you're talking about. He's just confused. He's Sam.
I'm just big dumb.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I wasn't listening.
Great. Thanks, Phil.
I'm kidding. We're talking about... what?
Kitty cats.
So, Troy, you going off this news, we evidently have another Xbox announcement that just dropped on Twitter like half an hour ago?
Half an hour ago. So, at first, it's an all red screen with an Xbox logo. And then you hit play on the video, and it says 2/13/2020, and then the Xbox symbol turns around, and you see Jumpman. Not Mario, like the Jordan Jumpman. And then they split apart and it says 2/13/2020 and it just shows the Xbox logo and the Jordan logo. And I don't know what this means, but
Microsoft
it could be great
shoes.
things. I would buy them.
What in the world?
I mean,
100%.
honestly, if it has to be anything, I would want it to be shoes because those games are not good because they're just yearly crap outs.
Yeah, does Microsoft make a basketball game?
They do now.
Jordan. Jordan's going to have his own basketball game. It's going to be throughout Microsoft.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, that I think
Jordan
is
basketball.
probably a little bit like head in the clouds guess.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's no way Microsoft pumps that much money into a basketball
Tiger Woods
game.
PGA Tour. We haven't had that with like a basketball game like Kobe Bryant.
No, it's true. You're 100%. We probably would get a Kobe Bryant one now.
We should.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think
it's a helicopter simulator.
If anything,
bro. Is it really foggy the whole game? Are there cliffs everywhere?
Has anybody around here played the helicopter game from the Flash game on the computer?
So
already simulated that.
Did you get your weather permit? No.
I just had this really crazy idea about the meta of like, so you'd play as like the professional, sports people, whatever, but you could play as a professional eSports player playing video games of people playing video games of people playing real sports.
So that's what the Jordan thing is. You play as a gamer playing 2K, like NBA 2K.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can just take that back as many times as you want.
They have games that are esports managers. Like you manage the esports player.
My guess is
more in depth.
My guess is for this thing, I don't think it's going to be a game, although that sounds cool as fuck, Colin. I would take that all day over my thinking.
The helicopter simulator?
No, my thinking is what this is a clothing partnership. So Microsoft is in the middle of selling a lot of the clothing off. Like they've gone to, on the Xbox store, a lot of their clothing has been clearanced out. So I think they have a partnership with Jordan to help them make clothes for the Xbox brand. Exactly.
Xbox has clothes?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like the cruddy like Xbox t-shirt that's like I don't know, a kid
it's
named
already
Tommy
has
gets
pizza stains on it.
Yeah.
It comes with Doritos and all that.
Yeah, different flavors.
Mountain Dew game fuel.
Different scents. This one already smells like
there's
BO.
actually some really nice looking kind of like not really gaudy t-shirts on the Xbox store.
I still want one of those Xbox onesies.
Some of them are super clean, and the onesies are great. Really stupid.
Xbox onesies.
It has a pocket just for your controller, and it fits perfectly in there.
Good. It's so good.
But what I think it is one either shoes because Jordan and shoes.
Right, sure, synonymous.
And I would be okay with some Jordan Xbox shoes. That'd be the first Jordans I'd ever owned.
Right. Yeah, I don't buy Jordans, but I would
It also
buy...
would be great if it is just shoes because everybody's going to be like, there's some team-up game console. Oh, it's just shoes.
But they've got an onboard assistant that helps you with all your daily tasks. Hey,
No, here's what
Xbox
it-
shoes, please record that.
Now PlayStation's gonna team up with Nike.
That would be great if it was a personal assistant. You're just walking in your shoes. Xbox. How many miles have I ran? And then shoes
It's like 0.2.
I'm already tired.
Literally has Cortana built in the shoes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
My boss calls her Katrina.
Hey, Katrina.
Just like
So
that.
good.
Just like this.
Hey,
Like,
Katrina.
who is this dang Katrina? Why is she in my computer?
Oh my God.
So it's either
And
that.
I wish that was a lie, but no,
Right.
he actually said that.
That's great.
So it's either the shoes or there's a Jordan console coming out that's just
Like a branded Jordan
Jordan edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got
And
leather.
they've done that for
It's got
fucking
leather
made
on
of
it,
leather.
and
You can
why
play
not?
basketball with it.
At least that'll make it heat up again. We get our red ring too.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
It is red. I mean, the
It is red.
The video is red.
Oh,
the
boy.
background.
That's a good color red. That's how I pictured how red that was.
Yeah, when you said it was red, I
That
thought
was
of
a
red,
good
and that
shade.
was
That
it.
was the exact shade of red.
There's
that I
lots of
thought.
different reds. Shut up.
That's a dumb thing to say.
No, there's burgundy, there's bright red, there's scarlet, there's
Maroon.
violet, there's all
Why
kinds
is that
of
not
reds.
maroon?
Yeah, maroon.
I'll
Get
maroon
out
you.
of here. You're only one kind of red.
Okay.
Very red.
Next bit of news comes to us from Kotaku. Outriders has been officially delayed.
What the heck is that?
So Outriders, we talked about this at E3
It's the co-op
last
RPG
year.
shooter revealed at last year's E3.
Duh.
Oh,
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
been delayed until this holiday season and will be coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X, as well as current consoles, according to a new trailer. It's made by People Can Fly, the same studio that made Bulletstorm and Gears of War Judgment.
Bulletstorm was fun.
Bulletstorm was fun. Gears of War, not my favorite, but I thought they took some cool chances.
One tiny side note, just since I've not been on here before.
Okay.
What is Xbox doing with their names? Because they're just...
It's complicated.
They're just gonna... That was the one thing with the
Xbox
Xbox One where it's like, I got you the Xbox One, honey, you asked for it. It's the original Xbox.
Right.
Xbox Series X.
The naming conventions is completely fucked, and I think what they're trying to do with Series X, as we talked about in the reveal, is to simplify that naming convention. Like, Xbox Series X leaves the door open for Xbox Series S, or Series M, or whatever the fuck other letter they want to use.
X2, XX.
Okay, alright.
Xbox Series X1.
That's
I get
the
the
adult
X,
version.
Xbox X Series X with the X. Akies.
Unless someone's paying a lot of attention, which the heavier gamers would, it's gonna be confusing to parents for sure.
Oh,
which-
yeah. No, I can understand that.
Like,
didn't
I
even think
already
of
have
that.
an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, how is
Yeah.
Ryan gonna have to buy all of them?
Also,
He's gonna
again,
buy like maybe some duplicates, maybe.
I did like the idea when they said 720. I like how that sounded.
And then just go back, then the next one's the Xbox 2.
Xbox 1080.
All right. So this is kind of a bummer for me because this is one of the games that I was most excited about coming out of E3. And no more news here other than coming out at this holiday season. But I wanted to talk about with you guys was, so it's coming to current consoles and it's coming to the next gen consoles. Like, games are mostly digital now. Are we still going to get this like segmented, oh, I'm going to buy the Xbox One version versus the PS5 version? Or is it going to be like, this comes to the store, you buy it on your platform of choice, and you play it on your platform of choice?
I think that's how it'll be, especially on Xbox for sure. Like, if you own it on Series X and you want to go upstairs and play it on your One X, it's going to be there.
And that's what Phil Spencer has alluded to, that
Yes.
it would just work. But like, I guess what I'm
Like,
asking
it'll
is...
be less graphics.
Oh, I understand.
like-
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, will you buy... So should I only buy, even if I don't get a Series X, should I only buy Series X games from here on out? You know what I'm saying?
I think
'Cause
it depends.
When I get the Series X, I want to have that visual fidelity there, but I don't want to have to buy two games.
No, I'm
so will
saying-
there still be two listings in the store?
No. Like, if you buy it on your One X and you get the Series X, it's already there. It's waiting for you.
Okay, so I'm just... Okay, I
Yes.
see what you're saying. So
Hurry, boy, she's
it was kind of like the
waiting there for
4K or the upgrades, enhanced edition upgrades for the Xbox One X. If you own the game, you got those upgrades automatically when the devs put them in.
You spent the money to get the better console, so we're going to give you this stuff.
Okay.
To make it make your console run what it's supposed to run.
Right.
I mean, I think they'll be able to do it up because both of them have talked about having the current gen games at least be able to play on the next gen.
And they're going to be backwards compatible both ways, which is why I think this is an important thing to bring up.
I don't think the PS5 or the Xbox Series X games that are more designed for them are going to be coming back because there's no way that they're going to be like, oh yeah, you buy it once and you're good. That doesn't make them enough money. Digitally, maybe, or if you again got like the PS4 or the Xbox One.
Digitally is where it gets shaky.
Yeah, digitally is shaky, but even then, they want to make money. If they can charge you twice, they are going to.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would trust either side, to do what would be good for the consumer, because I guess good for the consumer, but I believe that
put that in quotes.
They would just you get because the next gen version, obviously there's going to be a bigger jump, big jump, and they're going to want you to like get this specific version for these upgrades. Kind of like when it first started our last gen, they kind of did that to where, you know,
well,
other
it
than the
mattered,
fact that it wasn't backwards compatible.
Right, it mattered last gen because backwards compatibility was not a factor. So you had to get the new games. The only exception was Call of Duty Ghosts. When you bought that on Xbox One.
Anyway.
Yeah, when you bought that on Xbox One, you got the Xbox 360 version for free, which was cool. But
that was the first Call of Duty that I bought digitally,
like
because of that reason.
That was such a weird mesh of shit.
On some maybe where you get this
like I would think this game for sure. If you buy it now, like when it comes out, then you buy your Series X later.
I want to get rid of this like if we're going to lean into backwards compatibility and, you know, the best place to play being wherever you want to play, which is Xbox's current pitch.
Yeah.
It's like, we need, like, it needs to be just like PC. Like,
preach.
It needs to just be like, let's update the game until we're not updating the game anymore. And then as long as you meet the requirements for that, it'll always just play on your system.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't work with the console mindset is the only thing. That's why they are different.
Right.
I can see.
But I think we need to get to that point though, is what I'm trying to say. When you buy a game, when you buy a game on Steam, you just own that game on Steam forever.
Yours. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Like
you can keep upgrading your
console.
console.
You don't have to worry about the
new
next
PC.
thing coming out, and then you having to worry about if it's still mine or not. Like,
right.
Because I ditched my old consoles and all the stuff that I don't use because it's inferior to the stuff I just bought.
Right.
That's why I'm at least glad that they are both heavily talking about backwards compatibility, where there'll be some upscaling and stuff. But I could see maybe if you buy like in the beginning when they have ones that's both gens, if you buy the new gen one, you probably could get the old one. But if you buy the old one, they're not going to give you the new one. But
I think if it works against your favor, Ryan, you're going to be in deep trouble because I honestly think you're like a console hoarder. Like how hoarders are, like you have that same addiction, but it's just a lot more expensive, so it's not so severe. Like if you could buy consoles for $12, this whole room would be filled with consoles.
Yeah, sure. I thought briefly about buying another Xbox One 2 days ago.
Oh no.
I'm not even kidding. I was sitting in the basement and I was like, man, I kind of need an Xbox to hook up to the podcast TV.
No.
And then I thought, well, is that stupid though? Because there's an Xbox over there.
It's sitting over there.
And then I thought, well, what if I need them both at the same time?
Why? Tell me a scenario right now.
Do I see 2 Xboxes over there even?
There are 3 Xboxes over there.
My
There's an OG
goodness.
Xbox, a 360, and an Xbox
I think you
One.
were actually quite accurate in
All
your
generations.
statements.
Yes.
Let's turn this into an intervention.
We've tried this
done
before.
with this
You have a
electrotherapy.
problem, and
It
we've
is.
been discussing it.
Oh my God.
We've tried this before, Phil. It doesn't ever work.
Okay, so yeah, that's Outriders news. Pretty much concludes that particular segment.
There's not a lot of news on the new games coming out for the new ones yet.
There's not. We don't have a lot of information about it.
E3, man.
Cyberpunk.
I'm so pumped.
CD Projekt Red talked about their game not coming to the next gen consoles. It will only be for this gen. Which is
won't
weird.
really matter if they're backwards compatible. It'll play anyway.
But they won't be upscaling their game for the next consoles.
Though, given what they've said, it's supposed to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what Microsoft has said for sure.
Because I mean, the biggest difference with the PS4 and the Xbox One is they built them more like computers.
Yeah,
with the architecture.
and the next gen is even more in that direction. Yeah.
So there should be no issues at all of it being able to play this last gen. And then it's seeming that it's not even going to be hard for them to do the previous gens because they just have to scan the disc and run an emulator.
That's what the Xbox One does now with 360 games is it runs an emulator.
You still have to download them.
Correct.
What they let you.
Yeah.
I think in the next ones, hopefully they'll just allow you to scan, just play the disc.
I don't think they'll do that.
No, because they can't lock that down enough.
Like you put the disc in, and then it says, okay, you own this game. You can download the game, but you have to have the disc in to play it.
Yeah, the disc is your key to playing the game. It still runs from your hard drive, but the disc is you proving that you own it.
There's got to be a way they can figure it out now since they're that old.
Maybe. I mean, the fucking solution is buy it digitally. Like, buy it again. That's
but then it's still like
solution.
I mean, you go back to PlayStations, which there's been talk of playing 1 to 5,
right?
And the Xbox is playing that. Their libraries are massive
for sure.
Yeah.
So there's no way that it can't be running it off the disc to get that emulation. There's just
I've never heard it called that before. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Fatality.
So I think that's pretty much all we wanted to say here to you listeners.
Not me.
Okay, what else, Troy?
I had a really fun weekend, and I can't wait for you guys to hear about it.
Didn't you talk about it earlier?
I like it.
Yeah, like they would have already presented.
I moved out. You guys want to hear about that?
It's fine.
Hey, guys, here's something to actually look forward to. Next week, we'll talk about what I was originally supposed to talk about.
Yeah, Phil's going to bring us a Borderlands 3 segment next week.
Yeah, because we're having a new drop of something this weekend, and my wife and I are going to play it like crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, we didn't talk about it too much in the Game of the Year.
No, we didn't. It did not get its due at Game of the Year, certainly.
What is?
Borderlands 3 did not get any love at Game of the Year when we were talking about Games of the Year. For us.
You're saying it needs love, or we didn't say much about it?
It needs anything.
This podcast did not touch on Borderlands 3, and it was immediately removed from our Game of the Year discussions.
Yes.
Well, it shouldn't be in Game of the Year.
Well, all right then. We made the right decision. All right.
Again, find out next week why.
All right.
Find out why. Find out why.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I've been your host, Ryan Wolf. This has been Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants episode, whatever the fuck we're on. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Phillip.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Colin. Colin, you were suspiciously silent this episode. You didn't say a whole lot.
Towards the end, I just kind of, I got tired.
What are you doing, boy?
Okay.
I was just like, I gave all my energy in the beginning, and now I'm just like.
Next week, you're getting some caffeine.
Let's give him a monster.
Yeah.
You're getting a monster.
I can't afford Bang anymore.
Wait. Caffeine?
I'm on.
Are we putting him on that streaming service?
I'm on a moved out budget.
Okay.
Dude, Colin, next week you're getting Drake.
Oh my God. We are out of here. Thank you, and good night.
Goodbye.
Poopity scoop.
That's all, folks. So everybody got who they're going to be here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm Rudy from the Moody... I'm Rudy from the Moody.
You really are Rudy.
I'm Rudy, and I have the chalk.
All right, here we go.
Rudy Patootie.
I'm Rudy Patootie.
I'm Austin motherfucking Torres.
I am Wario. Who's your daddy?
I am Peter Zahut.
I'm.
And we're the Idiot Savants. And you're listening to Crazy Train of Thought on the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. And then sometimes we have a soundboard. That's the part that I'm trying to work out here is how to include the soundboard.
Just tell me what you want, and I'll do my best try.
Was that another practice run, or are we actually recording?
I recorded it.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to do a practice? You want to go through it again?
Oh, no, I just was
Can we
wondering
do
if we
a
were
practice
going.
run for 2 hours and then say we're recording?
Yeah.
Well, we've been recording.
That's what most episodes are.
We've done that before.
Yeah, we've lost episodes.
Oh,
too.
by the way, that was the whole thing.
Dude, we've lost some golden jokes.
Yeah, we have. We did. Yeah.
What was that Yoda one we made? That was
fucking
hilarious.
That Yoda one where Sam went to that party. That was the
gosh,
funniest
dude.
fucking shit
I can't even remember that.
that we lost. You were talking about like spinach artichoke dip, and we
Yeah.
equated that to being made from Yoda's skin or some shit like
that's
that.
what Yoda would taste
Yeah,
like. But then we're
yeah.
like, Yoda would taste like an Oreo, sort of like a mint Oreo.
No, it's because you're making that
was
one.
good.
You're making something.
The bread, the Gimli's bread, yeah, because it's made of Gimli.
Yeah, Gimli. I call it gingerbread.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Is Troy.
I am Rudy Patootie. I
Rudy,
just said it.
Rudy, sorry. I'm a terrible person.
All right, should
I
we do
just
that
wanna
again, or should we
state
just get
that
into
first.
it?
It's up to you guys. I can
do
go
it again.
Okay, here we go. We'll go again.